It is Championship Saturday in Provo, Utah. A chance that 3 West Coast Conference championships can be decided in this city today. Earlier today, the men's and women's cross-country championships held at East Bay. BYU winning both of those. And the Cougars hosting Santa Clara, the 6th-ranked team in the country tonight. And the winner, if there is a winner, if there's a tie, it gets messy, but if there is a winner, that team will have the automatic bid and at least a share of the WCC title. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on the W.TV. I'm Robbie Bolo, joined by 4-time WCC champion Elena Medeiros. Elena, they're playing for a championship. You played for and won one all 4 years. What does it mean to play for a conference title?
This is a big game, for both teams. Not only does it guarantee you a spot in the NCAA tournament, but it's just a great boost for your team. That's a goal every team sets out for at the beginning of the season, win conference and get to the tournament. And here, both teams have the opportunity to do so, and so got an exciting matchup ahead of us.
Fair to say that Santa Clara, is the number 6 team in the country, is going to the NCAA tournament no matter what. BYU in a situation where it might take an auto bid to go dancing.
Absolutely. I know BYU's got a lot to play for right now. Not only pride, but it's kind of their only opportunity to get back to the NCAA tournament. And with last season not being able to get there, I know they've got a chip on their shoulder and they're hungry and ready to come out and fight tonight.
Former BYU assistant coach Chris Watkins and his Gonzaga Bulldogs played to a 0-0 draw last night against Pepperdine, and that set up this potential championship today for the winning side. A draw, and Pepperdine still has a chance, and we go into the final weekend next Saturday to see what will happen. But essentially, playing for the title here today on Southfield in Provo. The starting lineups being introduced on the field. Will begin with the Santa Clara Broncos, ranked number 6 in the country. They come in 15-2-1 overall, 6-1 in the West Coast Conference, tied for first with BYU. Jerry Smith in his 32nd season as the head coach at Santa Clara, and he will field up top Maria Sanchez, a redshirt senior, 2-year starter, transfer from Idaho State, 10 assists this season, 2nd in the WCC. Kelsey Turnbow did not play for the first time in her Bronco career on Thursday. She was a game-time decision. She is in the 2017 West Coast Conference Freshman of the Year, back in the starting lineup. In the midfield and attacking mid, Maddie Gonzalez, a 5'2 junior, 2-year starter, 2nd team All-WCC last year, tied for first on this team with 7 goals. The holding mid, Marika Gway, the 5'4 freshman from Canada, making her 18th start, and the two, middle mids here, Kelsey Hedge and Julie Doyle. Hedge, a redshirt junior, 2-year starter, transfer from Washington, the other one with 7 goals this season, and Doyle is 2-year starter, 5'8 sophomore out of Laguna Niguel, California. On the back line, McKaylee George and Audrey Heggert on left and right, and the center backs Alex Loera and Sophia Jones, who is one of 4 players making her 19th start in all 19 matches this season. And between the pipes, the 5'8 senior from San Diego, Melissa Lauder, a 3-year starter, giving up exactly 1 goal a match this season. 16 goals allowed in 16 matches. West Coast Conference Player of the Week back in September. For the BYU Cougars, who come in 11-4-1 overall, 6-1 in the WCC, tied with Santa Clara for first place. Jennifer Rockwood, in her 24th season, will send out on the field, starting on the back line, Josie Gwynn and Rachel Lyman on the outside, Danica Serasio and Alyssa Jefferson in the middle, a veteran back line for the Cougars. In the middle, Lizzie Braby and Bella Felino on the outside, Michaela Coulihan and Olivia Wade in the middle. Up top, Maddie Gates and Elise Flake. Maddie, the only senior on this squad on senior night for the Cougars, and the 5'5 junior from Littleton, Colorado, Sabrina Davis, will be in net for the Cougars. 1.10 goals against average this season, allowing 14 goals in 15 matches. Elise Flake, will point out up top, has scored in 3 straight matches and 10 of the last 12, including 2 goals in under a minute in BYU's 4-0 win against San Francisco on Thursday. Santa Clara, it took overtime to get the win at San Diego on Thursday. They scored in the very first minute, and then they scored in the first minute of overtime. That was Skylar Smith, who was also a game-time decision, and Elena, she is out today, at least not starting. Might be able to come in as a substitute, but Skylar Smith likely out today, the one who had the game-winning goal on Thursday.
Yeah, I know. We all know Santa Clara is a great team, ranked number 6 in the country. You don't just get there by chance. They have prepared well for this match. We know they're going to come out with a fight, and it's pretty obvious that they have a very solid attack. Goals are coming again from everywhere, not just up top.
In 4 of the 7 times these two teams have faced each other since BYU joined the WCC, they played 2 0-0 scoreless draws. However, doubtful that happens today. BYU second in the NCAA in scoring offense, averaging 2.75 goals per game. Santa Clara tied for 22nd with 2.22 goals per game. Fair to say that these two teams will be finding the back of the net tonight.
Oh, absolutely. BYU, you've seen them peaking kind of at the right time right now. Lots of goals are coming. Again, we've talked about this all over the pitch, not just with Elise up top. She's been quite the leader for BYU this year, but as well as the center midfield, the outside wings as well. Attack is coming from everywhere, and we know there's going to be some goals tonight.
Santa Clara leads the series history 7-1-4, 2-1-4 in WCC League play. BYU's win, a 5-2 win in 2014 on this field here in Provo. That history also includes 4 straight NCAA tournament years. Santa Clara winning all 4 of those, bouncing BYU from the tournament all 4 years. The Broncos in the white will be going from right to left as you see it, opposite of us, BYU in the royal blues, and we are underway at Southfield in Provo, the WCC title on the line. Broncos struck early, scoring in the first minute against San Diego on Thursday, the first foul, and that's going to go against BYU. Bella Felino whistled for it.
It's a dangerous opportunity for Santa Clara. You always want to get yourself in front of the goal, and set pieces tend to end up with a lot of shots and good looks at goal.
BYU had won the toss and elected this side of the field. The sun's still setting since it's an earlier kickoff today in Provo, just 5 o'clock. And so Santa Clara will be looking straight into the sun from their net. Sabrina Davis in the bright orange shirt in BYU's goal. Opposite her in an aqua kind of turquoise blue is Melissa Lauder. Free kick is blocked at the line. Santa Clara keeps possession of it and continues the offensive pressure on BYU. Trying to dribble in towards the 18. Slicing in, shot and a save made by Davis.
Great looking goal from Santa Clara. You saw in that last little run, they had 2 people kind of unmarked inside the box. It was a dangerous opportunity for them.
Second minute, and Santa Clara again was looking for that early goal. Thursday, it was scored in that first minute by DB Pridham, who's not in the starting lineup today. It was the 4th fastest goal in Santa Clara history. BYU will attack for the first time. Going far side of the field, Josie Gwynn dribbling in towards the top of the 18, crossing it, a little strong hit. BYU keeps possession, however. And now the Cougars will slow it up and set it up. Didn't score till the 45th minute, right before the final seconds of the first half, but then turned it up in the second half. Scored 4 goals in that win against the Dons on Thursday.
Yeah, and you'll see with BYU's attack, they like to start from out wide and look to find people running through the box.
Both teams with 1 loss in league play this year, both of those losses coming to the Pepperdine Waves, who would own the tiebreaker if that became necessary. But again, an outright winner in this match today will clinch at least a share of the title. And a draw will keep the hopes alive for the Pepperdine Waves to perhaps capture the title. BYU controlling it here at midfield. Expect a strong second half crowd. Football game has ended at Lavelle Edwards Stadium, and many from the football stadium will be making it over here to Southfield.
Yeah, it's quite the sports day for BYU fans out here.
BYU losing 7-6 to Northern Illinois at Lavelle Edwards Stadium. Men's and women's cross country teams ranked 2nd and 9th in the country respectively, both taking the WCC titles at East Bay in South Provo earlier this morning. 4th minute here at Southfield, still no score. BYU and Santa Clara, they've played some fantastic matches in the 7 years since BYU joined the league. We mentioned 4 of those 0-0 draws. You played in some of those. 0-0 draw, not really boring when it's BYU and Santa Clara.
No, yeah, it's always a good fought match. For me, when I was playing, Santa Clara was always one of the best teams we'd play during our conference play, and they always gave us a good fight.
BYU trying to dribble into the box. 2 defenders there and cleared away by the Broncos. Danica Serasio giving chase. Kelsey Turnbow beat her to it. Jefferson shielding. And Sabrina Davis is there, and BYU will try to counter. Now going on the near side of the field. Our referee tonight, Omid Azadpour, Alan Pickett, and Marcelo Chaparro are the line judges. Shot goes wide to the left, and a goal kick coming for Santa Clara. Daniel Spicer Escalante will be our fourth official.
Again, in that last little run we saw, we know BYU likes to start wide, and it's a great ball in. Michaela had no one on her, and she's one of those types of players that she'll confidently strike the ball and get those looks at goal.
Santa Clara going over towards their bench, and a mishit will give BYU possession deep in the offensive zone. .480 wins for Jerry Smith in his 32 years at the helm in Santa Clara. Greg Murphy's the associate head coach, Curtis McAllister, an assistant head coach, and his wife and former player Brandy Chastain, a volunteer coach for that squad. A name still famous for that shootout victory against China in the 1999 World Cup in the Rose Bowl. BYU keeping the pressure on in the midfield. Broncos will try to send it forward. And really, other than that early look in the second minute, neither team has really been able to settle too much in the offensive third. 5.5 minutes gone here in Provo. And Santa Clara will send it back to Melissa Lauder, the senior goalkeeper.
Yeah, like you mentioned, I think both teams are just trying to find an ease their way into this match.
Kelsey Turnbow going towards the middle. Alyssa Jefferson defending Maria Sanchez. Drop it back off, looking for Turnbow. And it rolls into touch, and a goal kick coming for BYU.
Yeah, that last little series we just saw, Turnbow played a beautiful ball in. Unfortunate that didn't result in a better look at goal, but great look. Got her in the center of the pitch and got a shot off.
Jennifer Rockwood in her 24th season, 373 wins in Provo. Brent Anderson and Steve Magleby, her assistant coaches, in their second and first years respectively. Jennifer Rockwood, a long tenure, assistant coaches, not so much. And now a whistle coming against Santa Clara, and BYU will have an opportunity just outside of the 18. And once again, Melissa Lauder looking straight into the sun.
Yeah, this is a difficult shot with that sun directly in her eyes. We'll see what BYU will do with this.
Omid Azadpour stops the clock. 6:46 expired here in the first half. And BYU setting up with a set piece, roughly 22 yards out. We'll see who will take it. Danica Serasio is back there, so is Michaela Coulihan. Serasio with her foot on top of the ball right now. It'll be Serasio or Coulihan. And it's going to be Danica taking the shot. And it sails up wide over the crossbar. That would have won the game for BYU at Lavelle Edwards Stadium.
Oh, absolutely.
Could have used that field goal.
Yeah.
BYU missed a 51-yarder in the fourth quarter. Losing 7-6. We're over it, though, right?
Yeah,
we're completely over it.
Conference title, a more exciting game over here.
8th minute, and Santa Clara once again going over towards their bench, and a mishit from Melissa Lauder is going to give BYU the ball. Are you surprised that they are going that far wide? It's a pretty sharp angle to go in front of the bench.
Yeah, definitely sharp angle, but I know historically Santa Clara has been a very possession-based team, and so they always look to build out of the back.
BYU pushing it over near side, trying to cross it in, header on it, and just wide to the right. Maddie Gates, the senior, looking for a senior day goal. She was there, got a head on it, just a little wide.
Yeah, and another great ball by Rachel Bingham. Rachel Bingham has been so dangerous this season. She's coming off as an outside defender with so many assists for this year for the Cougars.
Leads the team with 6 assists, was eyeing number 7. BYU continuing to control the ball here in the offensive half. Coulihan drops it off for Olivia Wade. Back to Michaela. To Maddie Gates. Double team, taken away by Santa Clara. Cleared up the line slightly. BYU chases it down. Rachel Lyman trying to keep the possession coming for BYU, and now here they are in the middle. Olivia Wade rolls to her left slightly, sliding it through. And the offside flag is up. Bella Folino whistled for offsides.
It's the last beautiful ball by Olivia Wade as a center midfielder. You're always looking for those gaps in behind the defense, and she made that look really easy, but as a midfielder, those are the toughest balls. You got to have the perfect weight on them, and she played a great ball. Cougars were able to get the cross off, and unfortunate, didn't get the result.
Melissa Lauder again with a goal kick. And this time goes with a less sharp angle. BYU will win it nonetheless. It was Folino. Wade trying to push it forward to Coulihan, who turns and gives it back to Olivia. Across the midfield stripe. Flake pushing it out wide. Trying to cross it in, looking for Maddie Gates once again, and it's cleared out, but right to Rachel Lyman. BYU staying wide on the near side. Coulihan trying to dribble through into the 18, dispossessed. Santa Clara trying to counter. Kelsey Turnbow at the midfield stripe in front of the grandstand. And it's into touch for a BYU throw-in. 10 minutes gone. And BYU might be north of 60% possession in these first 10 minutes.
Yeah, it seems like the Cougars have established their kind of possession.
Loose ball in the box, fired, blocked! And a foul is gonna get called against Bella Folino and BYU. Deflected ball landed at the feet of BYU. Keeper came out, made a great save.
Yeah, at least this is something she's done consistently all season. She's not afraid to take people on 1v1, and as we saw there, almost got that goal and very dangerous up top.
She was tied for second last year on this team with 5 goals, has a team high 12 this year, and as we mentioned, has scored in 3 straight and 10 of the last 12 matches. Here she is with the ball again, a little too strong of a touch, into touch, and a goal kick coming for Melissa Lauder and Santa Clara. Scoreboard unofficially showing BYU with a 4-1 advantage. Neither team with a corner kick in these first 11 minutes plus. And most importantly, no goals as of yet.
Yeah, and here we see Santa Clara, something they're really good at, building out of the back and keeping possession.
We'll try to reverse field here with Lauder. Moving it from right to left. Back towards the center. Miss hit and BYU takes it away. Gates. One pass in towards the 18. Flag goes up. And BYU caught offsides once again. That time it was Lizzie Braby.
Yeah, BYU's got to be careful. We've already had a couple offsides called, and Santa Clara's got a very disciplined back line.
Broncos this season, they were picked to win the WCC, just 1 point ahead of Pepperdine. BYU was picked 3rd behind the Broncos in the Waves. Santa Clara with a win against now 3rd-ranked North Carolina. Got a draw at now top-ranked Stanford. Stanford getting a win against BYU on this field, 2-0 early in the season. BYU continues to possess the ball with it just across the midfield stripe. Braby pushing it forward, intended for Elise Flake. That one's booted out wide. Alyssa Jefferson takes it away. Goes to the middle to Olivia Wade. Wade sizing it up, sends it forward for Elise Flake in the middle of the field. Flake tries to go to her right, goes down. And that one cleared away. And Rachel Lyman will throw it in quickly for BYU. Still no score, 14th minute in Provo, Utah. Shot sails wide left and high over the bar. BYU, number 2 in the country in scoring offense. Haven't scored yet, but they've had that offensive attack going now for 13+ minutes.
Yeah, they've got quite the offensive. I mean, like we've talked about earlier, they're dangerous out wide. They're dangerous in the box. As we've seen in the last couple string of plays, they've got shots from outside the box as well. So we can look to see that they're going to have a strong attack.
BYU takes it away. Another turnover for the Broncos. And the shot finds the back of the net. 14th minute, BYU takes a 1-0 lead.
What a beautiful shot by Michaela Coulihan. Again, she's had this look before. She took person on 1v1, got that shot off with her left foot, and found that side netting. It's a beautiful
5th goal of the season, 8th career goal for the sophomore from Fruit Heights, Utah. Came into this match leading the West Coast Conference with 74 shots this season. And shot number 75 gives BYU the 1-0 advantage. And it came on a Santa Clara turnover. They've had a few of those here in the first 13+ minutes. And that one came back to bite. Off the restart, into touch, last touched by BYU. Throw in coming for the Broncos. Julie Doyle will yield it to Michaela George, who will throw it in front of the BYU bench. Blocked by Danica Serasio. Into touch for another Santa Clara throw, and it'll be Michaela George once again. Goes to Maddie Gonzalez in the middle. Reversing field, Alex Loera on the back line. Broncos trying to push forward, and again, another turnover. And BYU will take possession at midfield. Wade sending it forward. That pass picked off. And now Santa Clara forcing a turnover. Can they put together an effective counterattack? Maddie Gonzalez looking to send it forward. Rachel Lyman was right in the way. BYU has put bodies in front of several Santa Clara passes. And Lyman loses control of it. Elena, it seems like the energy has kind of picked up, certainly from Santa Clara, but I'd say from both sides since that goal.
Yeah, I mean, as a player, with every extra touch you get on the ball, your confidence builds not only individually, but as a team, and especially for BYU, getting that goal to start, it's a big thing for them. And so we see both teams now have kind of established their possession, and they're kind of connecting more than we saw earlier at the beginning of the game.
BYU in the middle, turnover deep in their own zone. Turnbow inside the 18, left foot, fires it wide left. Santa Clara giving BYU a dose of its own medicine, forcing the turnover deep in the zone. This one didn't result in an equalizer, but a shot inside the 18 from Kelsey Turnbow nonetheless.
Yeah, Kelsey Turnbow's had a fantastic season so far. She's got 6 goals, 5 assists on the season, and you know she's probably hungry for another one. It was a great look. Danica didn't step to her, and so she took that with her left foot. Barely missed far post.
Kelsey led the Broncos last year with 13 goals, was 3 times a Gatorade Player of the Year in high school in 2 different states, twice in Washington and once in Arizona. Nearly another turnover, and now it will be. Elise Flake will take it away. Frustration mounting for Santa Clara as BYU continues to intercept these passes. Elise Flake, right foot pass in the middle. Coulihan pushing it wide near side to Rachel Lyman. Up forward to Lizzie Braby. Braby moving back towards the middle, double teamed. Toe poke for Santa Clara knocks it away. BYU once again blocking the pass, and here's Alyssa Jefferson. Forward finds the senior Maddie Gates. Pass was intended for Gates. Taken away by Santa Clara. Now the Broncos trying to put something together offensively here. Far side across the timeline to the middle of the field. One-touch pass to Turnbow. Kelsey Turnbow just outside the 18. Looking to cross it perhaps. Danica Serasio there, threads it through. And it's slightly cleared away by Olivia Wade. Maria Sanchez giving chase.
It's a great last look by Santa Clara. They thread the needle, found in behind the defense, and that one-touch ball out wide. It's a beautiful look for them.
Deep in the corner, not quite a corner kick, however. Ball thrown into Maddie Gonzalez. Turnbow turns, tries to go back to her right. And BYU will just clear it out of immediate danger. That was Josie Gwynn with the clearance. Throw in coming from Michaela George. George, right-footed pass across. High arcing throw into the 18. Tipped through and cleared away. The initial danger cleared by BYU. Santa Clara still possessing it, trying to poke it inside the 18, and Alyssa Jefferson is there. And now BYU will try to counter. Sending it forward, looking for Elise Flake. Keeper's there. And Melissa Lauder beats Elise Flake to it.
Great cover by Lauder. She was able to come off her line and beat Elise Flake to that ball.
20th minute in Provo, BYU 1. Santa Clara yet to score. For either team, a win clinches the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament and at least a share of the WCC title with a chance to clinch it outright next week. Santa Clara will host Pacific on Senior Day. BYU will be at LMU. And I think it's, at this point, safe to say it would be a pretty big upset for either of these teams to lose next week. So essentially, deciding the WCC title here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a big game for both teams, and like we've talked about, winner will take conference and get that automatic bid in the tournament. But again, WCC play, anything can happen. So when either team next week, like we talked about, anything can happen in the WCC, so they need to be focused on winning that game.
Santa Clara has won 10 WCC titles, most recently in 2013 when they shared it with BYU. For the Cougars, that was their first of what were 5 straight WCC titles. That streak snapped last season. Up the line, Danica Serasio giving chase. Kicks it into touch, and it'll be a throw-in coming for Santa Clara. Still no corner kicks for either side as we approach the halfway point of this first half, 21st minute at Southfield. Cross. Davis was there. She made a save in the second minute, which was probably Santa Clara's best scoring opportunity of this first half thus far. Davis will boot it across midfield. And Michaela Coulihan will settle possession for the Cougars. Elise Flake dribbling through, trying to cross to the right. Dispossessed on the back line. I believe it was Audrey Heggert that poked it away. Kelsey Turnbow working against Danica Serasio. Looks for Maria Sanchez. And Maria was offside. Not too often you see an offside call in a real non-attacking situation, but that was the case there. Maria Sanchez putting up her hands. She was either confused with the call or confused with what was happening for the Broncos offensively.
Yeah, she was making a great diagonal run to open up space, and unfortunately her starting position was in behind the defense offsides.
Did you play soccer? That sounded like a midfielder talking right there.
I played a game or two of soccer.
BYU trying to spread out the field. Crossing in, one hop right into Lauder. She'll throw it forward. Julie Doyle. One touch to Turnbow. BYU gets there. Serasio keeps it in and will go back to the keeper. Sabrina Davis pushing forward, stays on the back line with Jefferson. One touch to Lyman and back to Alyssa. BYU working wide, trying to spread out the field. Will now cycle back towards the middle with Maddie Gates.
Yeah, it looks like Santa Clara is playing a 4-4-2 with that diamond in the midfield, and for BYU, they like to play wide, so it's a matter of who can switch the field the quickest and open up those gaps that are there.
Cleared away from Sophia Jones, throw-in coming for BYU. Broncos with that 4-back line, and Marika Guay, the holding midfielder, also stepping back to help out as a defender in those situations. Elise Flake turns, and BYU will slow it up and again try and spread out the field here.
Yeah, the middle of the pitch right now is very compact. Santa Clara's doing a great job at keeping the midfielders contained centrally so that they aren't able to go wide.
Gwynn to Wade in the middle of the field. Olivia going forward, takes a shot right into Louder from about 20 yards out. 24th minute, BYU maintains the 1-0 advantage. Santa Clara still methodically trying to maintain possession here, which historically has been their strong suit, to be a great possessing team.
Oh, yeah.
And BYU again forcing a turnover. Their goal came off of a turnover. And a late whistle.
Looks like a goal kick, yep.
And a foul, or a goal kick. Goal kick past the line. First substitution coming here in the 25th minute. It will be for Santa Clara. And Skylar Smith, who was a game-time decision, held out of the starting lineup, will now check in for Maddie Gonzalez. Skylar, the freshman, scored the game-winning goal in the first minute of overtime to get the victory against San Diego on Thursday, her 6th goal of her freshman campaign, and she checks in here in the 25th minute. Broncos trying to push it here. Alyssa Jefferson calmly steps in and takes the ball away. And then a mishit from the Cougars will give it right back to Julie Doyle and the Broncos. Loose ball. Settled by Maria Sanchez. Sanchez turning towards her left. Now will go right. Double teamed, trying to thread the needle. Jefferson, slide tackle, got the ball. And Sanchez slaps the turf in frustration. Lyman from the far side. Goes across the field. Serasio looking at Gwynn. Kick was deflected by Kelsey Turnbow. BYU throw in front of their own bench. Josie Gwynn will make the throw. At the feet of Bella Felino, sent forward. The Broncos step in front. Alex Loera taking possession away. Broncos still attacking the middle of the field. One touch passing from Doyle to Hedge, and then to George. Forward, and we're gonna have the first corner kick of this match coming in the 27th minute, and it will be for the Broncos.
Yeah, the build-up with the Broncos on that last little series we saw, it started in the back, and they did a great job of just knocking it 1-2 touch and made their way all the way up to the field to earn themselves a corner kick. It's a great look.
The sun continuing to set to the west, right in Melissa Louder's eyes. Short corner for the Broncos, inside the 18. Shot fired, it goes right at Davis. She bobbled it momentarily, but held on. Maria Sanchez with the strike on frame. '28th minute, BYU with the 1-0 advantage over the 6th-ranked Santa Clara Broncos. Forward, and Rachel Lyman couldn't quite get to it in time before it went into touch. And a throw-in coming for Santa Clara. BYU waiting to make some substitutions at the next opportunity. It'll be their first substitutions of the match. Audrey Heggert throwing in for the Broncos.
You saw in that last little play, Santa Clara's doing a great job at when they get the ball, switching the point of attack. They see their outside backs are already got their heels on the touchline, so they're using as much space as possible.
Serasio back to Davis. She'll keep it on the far side. Forward to Serasio. Danica gets it back from Felino, and they'll go to Davis once again. BYU content with slowing things down and playing the possession game as well. Already securing the 1-0 lead. Felino forward. And Alex Loera steps in front of it to take it away.
It's great anticipating that ball coming through. She steps right in front of Elise Flake to get the balls back for the Broncos.
Skylar Smith had her first touch since entering the match. Now Michaela George coming forward from the back line, looking for Hedge. Kelsey Hedge, 7 goals on the season, tied for the team lead, and forces the second Santa Clara corner kick, this one coming in the 30th minute.
Yeah, Hedge, definitely a creative player. You see that we just saw a quick little step over, another step over again, trying to get that cross off. Great look by her.
Santa Clara went with the short corner last time. Let's see what they do here. Maria Sanchez will take it. Sanchez will line it. And the kick sails wide to the right. That shot came from Kelsey Hedge. Into the match for BYU. McKaylee Moore and Cameron Tucker checking in. Each of them had a goal against San Francisco's. McKaylee's ended up being the game winner, the first one, a few seconds before halftime. Cameron Tucker had the 4th and final goal in the 86th minute.
Yeah, the bench for BYU this season has been very productive. They've been the spark when BYU's needed a goal, and McKaylee Moore especially, she's scored so many goals that it's been crucial for the Cougars. Look to find her in this match.
Maddie Gates and Lizzie Braby coming off for a breather. 15 minutes still to go here in the first half in Provo. Whistle blows. Santa Clara whistled for the infraction. Omid Azadpour was playing the advantage momentarily. BYU lost the advantage, and he whistled for the foul. Danica Serasio puts her boot in it to the near side. Lyman. Pass intercepted. Santa Clara trying to counter. Doyle in the middle of the field. Finds Turnbow. Turnbow about 30 yards out. Jefferson on her, and Alyssa takes it away. Alyssa Jefferson has forced a number of turnovers here in this first half. A little miscommunication from BYU. McKaylee Moore just into the match. Hadn't really started her run when the pass was intended for her. Now McKaylee takes it away. 2-on-2. Moore and Flake. McKaylee Moore pushing it through. And Elise Flake not there. Melissa Lauder gets to it first.
Yeah, it looks like McKaylee was trying to find Flake wide, trying to slice and split those two defenders, and unfortunately, Turnbow was able to come off her line and make the save for the Broncos.
Lauder sending her team forward. Puts the ball down, and she'll dribble it out past the 18. Little chip shot. One hopper. Into touch, and it'll be a BYU throw-in. Omid Azadpour is going to send BYU further back to make the throw. Josie Gwynn was creeping up. I know that's something you never did.
No, never.
Never tried to get a few more yards on that sideline.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
Ball in the middle. Lyman, whistle and a late foul. That's going to go against Michaela Coulihan, I believe. That'll give Santa Clara the ball as we approach the 34th minute. First half, BYU leading 1-0. Michaela Coulihan giving BYU the advantage. Elise Flake poked away. And now the Broncos trying to put something together here on the counterattack. Doyle was there. The ball taken away by Olivia Wade. BYU's midfield has been stout here in the first half. Forward, the pass was intended for Skylar Smith. It missed her, and Josie Gwynn, and BYU will have a throw-in just outside of the Santa Clara team box. Coulihan sends it forward. That pass taken away. And a slicing kick goes into touch from Melissa Lauder. And that's the third time now that Lauder has hit a ball into touch in front of her own bench and given the ball back to BYU.
Yeah, typically teams they tend to hold back on their defensive pressure, but BYU's historically been known for that high pressure defense and obviously makes defenses and goalkeepers uncomfortable.
Coulihan. Back to Jefferson. Center back will push to the right side to Rachel Lyman. Lyman sends it forward. Elise Flake trying to boot it up. Headed through and Lauder was there. Bella Felino doing all she can to harass that back line for Santa Clara. 10 minutes and change left to play here in the first half. BYU with the advantage. Bella turning. Danica will try to send it forward. Guay got ahead on it. Jefferson pulled down. Foul goes against Santa Clara. That'll be Maria Sanchez. Another whistle, and this one going against BYU. Things starting to get a little chippy here as we approach the end of the first half. Michaela Coulihan's goal in the 14th minute is the difference thus far as we enter the 37th minute. George going across the field. Santa Clara trying to open up BYU defensively. Forward to Kelsey Hedge. Further forward, and Alyssa Jefferson steps in front. Sends it back to Davis, who boots it high over the head of McKaylee Moore. BYU head coach Jennifer Rockwood yelling for her team to settle the ball.
Yeah, it seems like past couple series, passes are just popping up, or they're not simple or not to feed, making it difficult for the person on the receiving end to keep the ball. And Santa Clara's doing a great job at stepping and picking off those balls.
BYU this season has conceded some late goals at the end of either the first or second halves that have cost them some games. Trying to avoid doing that here. A few more substitutions coming in now. Ella Ballstead in for BYU to replace Bella Felino. And DB Pridham. And Kylie Halverson, the freshman from Hawaii, entering the match for the Broncos. Kelsey Turnbow will come out, as will Maria Sanchez. So the two forwards coming out for Santa Clara, looking for some fresh legs here for the final 7 minutes and change. Pridham, the junior, had that goal in the first minute against Santa Clara, or for Santa Clara against San Diego that gave them the lead. Elise Flake tapped forward to Josie Gwynn. Gwynn trying to go inside the 18, has it taken away by Michaela George. George racing it down into the corner. And Santa Clara wants the ball, and the initial indication is BYU will have the ball, and they're going to make a substitution. Elise Flake will come off, and Lydiana Akanaka, the freshman from Hawaii, will come in. So both teams putting in a Hawaiian freshman here in the end of the first half. BYU deep in Santa Clara territory. And the offside flag going up for the third time in Santa Clara's favor. I believe one offside call for the Broncos, 3 for BYU. '40th minute. Kelsey Hedge. Across the field. Just over the head of Ella Ballstead to find Julie Doyle. Doyle forward for Pridham. Pridham turning, left-footed, back towards the top of the box. And headed away briefly by Olivia Wade. Danica Serasio pushing it near side, looking for Rachel Lyman. In front of the grandstand, Lyman across the timeline. Rachel tripped up, and there's the whistle. Looks right at the official. And Omid Azadpour blows the whistle.
Yeah, it looked like a good, clean tackle to start, but just that little...
Yeah, the first hit was clean, got the ball. Second time, not as clean. Danica Serasio setting up for the BYU free kick. 41st minute in Provo. Serasio going far post, and a diving save from Louder. She's been getting her exercise in during these first 45 minutes.
Absolutely. Not only is she getting good looks at her, but she's also got the sun still right in her eyes. She's done a great job at keeping sight of that ball and keeping it out of her goal.
That was going far post, might have been going wide, really hard to tell, but a fantastic save from Louder nonetheless. Coulihan. Her goal is the difference so far. Coulihan double teamed, taken down. And Azadpour tells him play on, no foul. Coulihan a little slow to get up. And again, another play on, a great tackle there from Alyssa Jefferson.
Yeah, we saw 2 great tackles within a matter of seconds, both sliding in, definitely all ball, which is why the referee didn't call it.
It's a sign of elite soccer. You know you're playing at an elite level when you can make tackles like that and know that they're clean.
Absolutely.
And both teams doing that. Santa Clara, the 6th ranked team in the country. BYU receiving votes in the latest coaches poll. Both teams 6-1 and 0 in WCC play. The winner clinches the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament from the West Coast Conference. Santa Clara looking for an equalizer here in the last 3 minutes. One-touch passing, Gwynn and Coulihan. Ballstead was double-teamed, nowhere to go with it. Broncos countering. Gray forward to Halverson. Halverson dispossessed. Cameron Tucker takes it away. Tucker going forward. Tripped up, and we have a foul called. No foul called. Kaylee Moore goes down. Might have had some help, but I also thought she was going down on her own accord. Looked like she was tripping to begin with.
Yeah, sometimes Southfield it gets a little slick, especially in these fall months. Dew starts to set and a little bit wetter than most.
A lot of no calls in this first half from Omid Azadpour. And by and large, I've been very actually impressed with the first 45 minutes of his ability to control the game and make calls when he needed to, and not calling them when they're not obvious fouls.
Absolutely, this is a big game for both teams, and sometimes during these big games, emotions get pretty high, and so he's done a great job at keeping everything pretty level for both sides of the pitch.
Not often you can say it, but I'm going to say it. This has been a well-refereed first half.
Absolutely. Doing a great job out there.
44th minute. Half an hour since Michaela Coulihan's goal gave BYU the 1-0 advantage. And now we go into the final 90 seconds of this first half. Smith finds Jones. George back to Skylar Smith. Scored the game winner in overtime on Thursday, came on as a substitute, and a foul called against Michaela Coulihan. She disagreed, but a free kick coming for Santa Clara. 58 seconds to go in the first half.
Yeah, this is a good look for Santa Clara. She's pretty square on with the goal, and so expect her to get this ball in and find someone on the end.
Alex Loera looking far post and finds no one. 2 hops through and across the end line. And a BYU goal kick coming with just over 30 seconds to go in this first half. Sabrina Davis taking her time. And try to make sure that this is the last kick of the first half. Under 20 seconds now. Boots it towards midfield. Popped high up into the air. 10 seconds to go. Sent forward. Davis calling everybody off. She's got it. And can just hold on to the ball at this point, and that'll do it. The first 45 minutes in the books. Michaela Coulihan, the sophomore, scoring a goal in the 14th minute, and that has given BYU a 1-0 advantage over 6th-ranked Santa Clara in a battle here for the WCC title. Elena, your initial impressions here of the first half?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, earlier in the game, we saw that kind of both teams were trying to find their groove and find kind of who their team identity was to start with, but as we moved on throughout the half, we see that BYU starts to ease into their possession as well as Santa Clara. One thing I like about Santa Clara is when they get the ball, they contain possession. I mean, someone's on the ball and you can see little triangles all around the field. They're always looking to ping that ball 1 and 2 touch, and BYU, I think, did a great job at putting that high pressure on Santa Clara. I'm sure it's something they're not used to seeing, and so kind of been flustering them a little bit, especially we see with balls being kicked out on goal kicks as well as with the back line. So all in all, I think very impressive on both ends of the pitch that looking, and then right now BYU has the lead up.
Halftime at Southfield. When we come back, we'll look at some stats from the first half, and Elena Medeiros will put on her coaching hat. What is Santa Clara and BYU? What are they going to talk about in the locker room? What do they need to do differently coming out in the second 45 minutes? We'll step aside. You're watching West Coast Conference Soccer.